Ever faced a conflict, like a tough negotiation, and felt outmaneuvered? We have been conditioned to believe that real victory is defined by being the loudest voice or the most dominant personality present in the room. Perhaps the greatest advantage in any conflict comes from the secret strategies your opponent is completely unaware of until it's far too late. For centuries, Sun Tzu's Art of War has been the definitive masterpiece on strategy, a timeless guide for understanding the very nature of conflict. This animated summary will bring to life the core concepts and explore the powerful, timeless principles that have made this book so very influential. We are about to discover the profound truth that the greatest and most lasting victory is the one that is achieved without ever needing to fight a battle. Here we will see that success isn't born from acts of aggression, but is instead carefully crafted through the discipline of dedicated preparation. You will develop the strategic mindset to overcome any challenge and outmaneuver the competition you face in your career and your personal life. Together, we will uncover the powerful strategies of the past and learn how to use this ancient wisdom to create extraordinary success in our modern world.
Before we continue the video, let's be honest about reading. If you're a visual learner, trying to force your way through a book can be painful. Reading a full book can feel impossible because your brain craves visual stimulation and words on a page just don't provide that spark. But with the BookWatch app, you can absorb an entire book in just 15 minutes with our animated book summaries. We create engaging visuals that match exactly how your brain works for thousands of books. Start learning the way your brain is truly meant to. Download the BookWatch app free with the link in the description or search BookWatch in the App Store. Also, if you are enjoying our free content on YouTube, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.
Idea 2: win without fighting. The ultimate victory isn't won on the battlefield. It is achieved by breaking your enemy's will to fight before the first blow is ever even struck. The best general foils enemy plans or prevents their forces from uniting for a direct attack on their army is the least effective strategy. Besieging walled cities is the worst strategy. It wastes months in preparation for weapons and defenses, draining precious time and resources. An impatient general ordering a futile charge on a wall simply dooms his men. A third of them will fall, and the city will remain unconquered. A masterful leader subdues enemy forces without fighting. He captures their cities without laying siege and wins the war without losing men. The rule is to surround them when 10 times stronger, attack when 5 times stronger, and divide your forces when you are twice as strong. Engage the enemy when forces are equal. If outnumbered, you must be able to withdraw, and if you are weaker still, you must know when to flee. Giving impossible orders cripples an army from within. Forcing an advance or retreat when it cannot be done will only lead them to certain disaster. Trying to rule an army with civilian methods causes confusion, while misplacing officers by whim instead of skill erodes the soldier's trust. Victory is knowing when to fight and when to wait. You must manage both greater and lesser forces and lead an army that is united in one purpose. Know your enemy and yourself, and you need not fear any battle. But to know neither is to guarantee you will succumb to defeat every single time. Idea 3: deception. All warfare is based on deception. To get the upper hand, you must manipulate what your enemy believes they know about your skills and intent. A powerful tactic is to appear weak when you are truly strong and feign vulnerability to lull your opponent into a false sense of security. Another is to feign ignorance when you are knowledgeable. Let your enemy reveal their plans while they believe you are completely oblivious. By seeming weak, unprepared, or small, you bait your adversary. Their overconfidence will lead them directly into your carefully laid traps. Deceive your foe by displaying only a small part of your forces. They will become arrogant, believing their own numbers are overwhelmingly superior. Attacking under this guise, they will be totally unprepared. Their assault is based on a lie you have skillfully crafted for their downfall. When the trap is sprung, your opponent is met not with weakness, but with your full, overwhelming force. Their confidence shatters instantly. Another method is letting the enemy win a few minor battles. Your opponent's plans can be ruined by their own greed and inflated sense of importance. Every small victory only feeds their ego, making them reckless. This inflated self-importance will become your most powerful and effective weapon. When they make their final, overconfident move, they will find it was the one you wanted them to make all along, leading to their ultimate defeat. Idea 4. How to read your opponent. To defeat an opponent, you must first know them. A careful analysis of their skills will reveal the very flaws you can use to your advantage. If your opponent appears strong and prepared, do not rush to attack. Instead, focus on preparing your own forces and ensuring their readiness. A wise commander waits for the perfect moment to strike, never engaging until the battle has shifted decisively in your favor and victory is assured. Create the illusion of passivity and make your opponent believe you will not fight. Their comfort and dismissal will become your greatest opportunity. Your calculated inaction is a powerful weapon that frustrates enemy commanders and drives their leadership to become angry and erratic. Constantly seek new ways to probe, bother, and annoy your opponent. These small irritations will soften their resolve and make them vulnerable. Anger your enemy with provocations, then feign a tactical retreat. Their confidence will swell with this illusion of victory, making them careless. An opponent who feels superior will cease to be careful. This overconfidence will inevitably lead them into reckless and dangerous behaviors. Pride is the general's greatest weakness and the strategist's sharpest hook. An opponent blinded by their own pride is an opponent easily caught. Idea 5. Pivot. A wise leader ensures their plan is never infiltrated. They achieve this by never revealing their true intentions, even to their own people. The ultimate form of secrecy is constant adaptation. Instead of a rigid plan, you should make changes based on the enemy's actions in real time. If your troops always use the same predictable tactics, the enemy will easily anticipate your next move and counter it effectively every time. Instead, observe the enemy's preparations. Use your knowledge of their position to inform your own strategy and dictate your decisive next move. Being adaptable is crucial, but it can't replace solid planning. To win, you must first gather your forces and prepare a well-thought-out strategy. Commanders who win battles always do immense preparatory work. This foundational planning must be done before any strategic pivot can be made. Imagine starting a game with just one card, hoping to get the rest as you go. This purely reactive approach is a recipe for certain failure. You must always start with a full deck, prepared for any situation. This thorough preparation is what gives you the power to choose and to adapt. Idea 6. Resource management. Mismanaging resources creates endless conflicts that will exhaust your army. These long battles drain a warrior's physical and mental strength. Lengthy and costly procedures drain your valuable assets, and a wise commander knows that every moment is precious and costs you dearly. A wise leader knows victory is found in decisive action, not attrition, because prolonged campaigns exhaust a fighting force unnecessarily. War is much like a raging fire. If it burns too hot for too long, it will consume everything that feeds it and then finally extinguish itself. Long and futile campaigns will ultimately consume your weapons, finances, and energy because no resource you possess is truly infinite. Your soldiers' morale will crumble, their spirits will shatter, and this war will be lost long before the final decisive battle is ever fought. Therefore, all military problems must be resolved with overwhelming speed and force, as there is no glory to be found in a slow war of decay. You must strike with the incredible speed and power of a lightning bolt, secure your objective, then vanish before the enemy can even react. Idea 7. Ways to make sure there are enough resources. A wise general forges victory by feeding his army with the enemy's supplies. This tactic spares your own homeland's bounty and preserves its wealth. By seizing enemy supplies, you gain more than just food. You directly weaken their ability to fight and sow seeds of despair among their ranks. This strategy also protects your own people from the harsh burdens of war. Your citizens remain prosperous and your economy remains strong. A long war funded from home drains the nation's treasury. With prices soaring near the battlefield, the state's great wealth just disappears. When war drains a nation's resources, its people fall into poverty, and some businesses exploit the widespread hardship by increasing their prices. As the military drains resources, civilians face critical shortages. When the last of the food and supplies are gone, their true suffering begins. As resources run dry, the standard of living plummets and the very foundation of the nation begins to disintegrate from within. Prolonged conflict wears everyone down, soldier and civilian alike. The exhaustion of war spares no one, whether on the front line or at home. If you drain your nation of its resources and people of their hope, you will lose their support. A leader cannot rule an empty, broken land, but the skilled general avoids this fate by living off the foe. His smart moves ensure victory abroad and prosperity for everyone back at home. Idea 8. Commanding your troops. Wait until you can win before you rally support. If you act too soon, you'll lose public trust, and they won't back you when it truly matters. Assembling an army is only the first step to building a powerful force. For your troops to work their hardest, they must be paid for their service. The only awards that truly matter are those earned through dedication and effort, not just handed out based on favoritism or who you know. If you give the people strategic prizes, they will be more likely to act in a way that gets them those prizes. Their ambition aligns with yours. Giving gifts out equally or at random to everyone is an ineffective strategy that won't motivate anyone and will just drain your budget. Forging the character of your force requires both rewards and penalties, because relying on just one creates an incomplete system of command. A truly disciplined fighting force is forged through one essential principle: a clear and balanced system of both reward and punishment. Real command is more than amassing forces. It is the art of shaping their very spirit and will to become an extension of your own. Idea 9. Keep your troops in suspense and make them fight to the death to win wars. A vast army is controlled by breaking it into smaller groups. Use signals like gongs, drums, and banners to command them with precision and unity. A great commander leads his army as a single man, where no one is too scared to charge or too brave to retreat, and the entire force acts as one. Treat your troops like your own beloved sons, and they will follow you to the death. Yet without authority, they are as useless as spoiled little children. Your troops' discipline can secure victory. But discipline only works if they trust you. Be firm when needed, but always show them due respect. A general's work demands secrecy from his own troops, while his tactics must constantly change to mystify and outwit his opponents. Move unpredictably along unexpected routes, and only reveal your true plan after you have marched deep into the heart of enemy territory. When circumstances are favorable, share them with your men. But if the situation is dire, you must keep that knowledge entirely to yourself. The further your army ventures into hostile lands, the stronger their bond will become. Their shared purpose and isolation will elevate their spirit. When soldiers face a desperate situation with no escape, they lose all fear. They will fight to the end with a furious and desperate strength. Victory necessitates placing your soldiers in inescapable danger. This desperation is how you unleash their fundamental determination to conquer. Idea 10. Be sufficiently ready. When psychological warfare fails, you may have to attack their forces directly, but your attack must be precise and focused only on the real enemy. Our war is with the enemy's army, not their cities or the civilians within. A true warrior strikes only the threat and defends the truly innocent. To prevent tragedy on the battlefield, you must first anticipate it in the war tent by planning for every setback and every possible contingency. To guarantee a successful attack, all necessary war materials and fortifications must be prepared and ready a full 6 months before the engagement. Never rush into a battle until you are absolutely certain everything is ready, because an impatient attack is nothing more than a desperate, foolish gamble. A commander blinded by rage sends their troops to their deaths, as true leadership requires a mind completely unclouded by personal emotion. The mark of a truly strategic siege is having strong forces secure supply lines and achieving your objective with very few casualties. Victory is not just about defeating the enemy. It is about achieving your goal efficiently, preserving your strength for the next challenge. Idea 11. How to approach the enemy. If your troops are 10 times bigger than the enemy's, you should circle them. You'll need a big gap to fully circle them without any weak spots. If your army is 5 times as big, you should split up into smaller units. This allows for a more flexible and multi-pronged assault on the enemy. Commit several groups to the main assault, but keep a powerful reserve ready to counter enemy moves or exploit openings as they appear. Splitting your forces in two when you have a 2-to-1 advantage creates an opportunity for a far more cunning and strategic assault. Put one team in charge of bringing the enemy out. The other team attacks them by surprise, trapping them in a pincer they did not see coming. If the size and strength of your troops are about the same, avoid an open fight. Use methods that weaken the enemy, like ambushes and sneak attacks. If you can't do this, you have to take a protective stance. Don't get into a fight if you don't have a good chance of winning the engagement. There is no honor in a fight you cannot win. Fall back to strengthen your defenses and let your troops rest and recover their full strength. Wait for the other side to get lazy or make a planning mistake. When they finally present an opportunity, you must be ready to strike decisively. Idea 12. Getting your forces together. The way a group forms reveals their strategy, while the organization of your troops shows the true strength and reliability of your overarching plan. A visible formation gives away your true strength, while a formless one conceals it. Always ensure your army's disposition remains completely hidden. The enemy's formation and mood are vital clues to their intentions, so observe them carefully to understand their strategic mind. You cannot force an enemy into a formation of your choosing. You can predict the conditions for success, but you cannot compel it to happen. You'll know victory is certain when you see their formation break, as their collapse is the final confirmation of your decisive advantage. Never strike unless victory is assured, for true strength is in the certainty of the blow, not the simple eagerness to engage in a battle. You can only train your own people. Real victory is forged by discipline and practice long before the first arrow is ever loosed from the bow. The greatest advantage is being formless and fluid like water. Keep your power hidden until the moment to strike unseen and totally unpredictable. Idea 13. Defense versus offense. To protect yourself, stay out of sight. Make your troops appear formless to hide your true strength and keep your opponent from learning anything. Though you appear chaotic, maintain perfect order within your ranks. Be internally prepared and ready for any enemy strike at a moment's notice. Formlessness is a powerful defense. Like water, you cannot be grasped or struck effectively, which will frustrate any attack your opponent launches. If you do not believe you can achieve victory, you should immediately adopt a defensive posture. Conserve your strength and await a better moment. Before you can surprise your opponent, you must first deceive them. Lure them in by making them believe you are confused and totally unprepared. The meaning of offense is an attack that is swift and decisive, like a thunderstorm. Your opponent won't have time to protect or fight back. Never launch an attack unless you are absolutely certain of your victory, because a reckless assault is the single most certain path to your own defeat. When on defense, your hidden forces are like water in a deep canyon. The enemy cannot tell how big or strong your forces are and cannot measure you. Your attack, when it finally arrives, will be an immense and unstoppable force, like a torrential rain bursting forth from the dark storm clouds. Idea 14. The easy victory. The best leaders win before the fight even begins. They create situations where victory is the path of least resistance, requiring almost no effort. Finding your opponent's greatest weakness and turning it against them is the true secret to achieving a swift and effortless victory. Your meticulous preparation creates the ultimate advantage, making you ready to exploit any weakness and turn it into your opponent's final undoing. With a strong geographical advantage, you build an unassailable position. It's a powerful strategy that leaves your opponent no chance to succeed. Your strategy should be so hard to understand and change that your opponent is left confused. They cannot fight what they cannot comprehend. You've thought through every possibility, so you are always ready. And while others react to surrounding chaos, you are the one who simply executes. You know your opponents so well, you can see and exploit their every hidden weakness. Their entire structure is just an open book waiting to be read. The ultimate victory is not won on the battlefield, but in the planning. The outcome was secured long before the first move was even made.